All right. Well, hey, Doug, how are ya?
Hey, Lynette, doing fantastic. Really looking forward to our conversation today.
Yeah, no kidding. So, hey, listen, so thank you for joining the show. A lot of my audience is going to go, what? She's got a male on her show? This is supposed to be her recording women over 50 who are sort of killing it in the market. But listen, I wanted to bring you on as a sort of a special episode because you and I, well, first of all, let's just take a step back. You and I've known each other probably since like grade 5, grade 6, or something like that.
Absolutely. The old elementary crushes we had, I believe. Yeah. So, wow, brings back a lot of memories there. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was born and raised in Regina, Saskatchewan. This is where Doug is still residing in Regina, Saskatchewan. And yes, we went to school together and we've kind of kept in touch throughout the years. I actually think the last time we saw each other in person was at our high school reunion. I won't even go
Yes,
there.
exactly.
So, yeah, super fun. But hey, so you, Doug, the reason why I really want you on the show is because you are really running sort of a parallel type of program, coaching program, as I am from a women's perspective, but you are taking it more leaning more towards the male perspective. I do know you do coach some women as well, but I want you to walk us through a little bit about who Doug is and how you got started in the coaching of sort of midlife type people.
All right. Well, hey, again, thanks for having me, Lynette. And I'm going to channel a little bit of my feminine side today here, I guess, and
Excellent.
with your audience. But you're right. I mean, whether you're men or women, we're going through the same thinking and our aspirations, or if you want to call it midlife crisis, or a crisis is really just an opportunity to find out really who you are and what you want and what you're capable of, and if you're prepared to go get it. So yeah, just to give you a little bit of a history. So I've always been an employee. I've been working for a corporation for many years, but I've always had an entrepreneurial side to me, and I did some dabbling and some business ventures. Some, I hit okay, and some I lost big, right, as well too. So, but I've always been a consumer of personal development. So in order to find out what it is and who I am and what I want to achieve. And so as I've turned 50 and, over 50 now, I was really starting to evaluate my life and, who am I? What am I capable of? What are my passions? What's my purpose? And I really do believe, and we've all heard this saying, the purpose in life is to find your purpose, right? And live your passion. And so, because I had studied, personal development for so many years, I've just never quit trying to let's say escape the 9 to 5 or build your encore life as what you're doing with your prospects and clients and members, and really how do you live this full life and how do you design a life and business you love. And so it would be about, I'd say, it actually was about 10 years ago. That actually was down in Chicago at a Tony Robbins event, and it was actually kind of life changing for me. And so I remember him saying, the success of your life is commensurate to the amount of chokeholds you place on yourself. And so whether it's your life or your business, and so we only grow if we're able to break free from these chokeholds that we place on ourselves. And these are sort of learned chokeholds from behaviors, maybe from upbringing, values, beliefs, fears, or even the 5 closest people that you hang around, as we all know, that you become the sum of those people that you connect with and you associate with. And so I realized, wow, I've got all these fears and limiting beliefs. And so even though I've been working in a corporate world and I've had a decent career, it just really wasn't me. And I am not that individual. I'm not that person that wants to work the corporate ladder, be stuck in a box in an office in a tower, and park my car in a parking lot, drive home in my car. And, I wanted more freedom and flexibility and opportunity. So I really took to this concept of breaking chokeholds. And I said, you know what, if I could start to break my chokeholds, maybe my life would change. I think that's the foundation of all of why we're held back, is because we all have these fears and limiting beliefs. And then we're afraid to take a chance on ourselves, take a chance on our dreams, unleash our authenticity of who we really are. And we're so afraid of sharing that person to the world, whether it's you have a spouse that doesn't want to see you grow, or your friends don't like the changes they're seeing in you. And so we actually hide this individual or hide these desires, hide these passions, and then we conform to reality. So in essence, basically, so this whole a concept had been in my mind. Okay, these chokeholds, chokeholds, chokeholds. What is it? And it wasn't until about 3 years ago I said, I got to dig into this hard. I'm not happy. I'm still working. I'm still studying personal development. I'm not living the encore life. I'm not living my passion. And so I delved in and started writing a book and a manifesto. And I'll just show it here. It's Breaking the Chokehold. And anyhow, and it became sort of, okay, who do I have to become? What's this person? What am I after? And it's all about, the work you do, Lynette, identifying your purpose, identifying your passion. That's always step number one. And I call it wake up, shake up those chokeholds, and then bake up, get fired up. Always, understand the reasons why you're doing it. So then I have in turn sort of launched a coaching program. I sell my book. I'm building an online course as well. And you're right. I'm coaching men, right? Men in their 50s going through a midlife crisis, that want to achieve more. So anyhow, give you a little bit of a story there.
Okay, I love that. That is amazing. First of all, you're super articulate, and I love that. So, okay, so let's take a step back. Breaking the chokehold. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's give examples of what those chokeholds really are from a male perspective, from the men that you're coaching. What are they bumping up against? Because quite honestly, like, is it really a midlife crisis? I mean, I think we need to park that term a little bit and really start to think, okay, you talked about all the things that have happened when you were younger and that just keep piling on, that I think eventually create these chokeholds, as you say, that then we can't break free from them. So give me some examples of those.
Yeah, so we've always been conformed, right? I mean, it all started even when you were growing up. Okay, Doug, you're going to go to school, you're going to get a business degree or whatever it is, education, you're going to go get a job and you're going to go work. And I remember, so number one chokehold became, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, or
Supposed to do.
exactly. And you've got to conform to what society wants you to do. And in fact, big corporations need people like us to work for them, to be slaves, to generate wealth of their own dreams or their own goals, right? So we're always conformed to be able to say, you've got to go get a job. And so we start forgetting about who we are and we just start tunnel vision. I got to wake up at, 7 in the morning, go to my office and in the box. And this is what I do. And this is what life is. And then so we find, and you look around in shopping malls and people look like, if you're downtown or you're walking around, people look like zombies. No one's really happy. Everybody's just waiting for Friday. They can't wait for their vacations. And it's just a crazy situation. So then we actually start to get, I call it we're locked by what are called the golden handcuffs. And we've all heard that phrase before. And it's a steady, but limiting income that you get from your job. And we start getting accustomed to it because, okay, kids, you've got education funds, kids need clothes, you got to put food on the table. And you go, well, I can't take a risk to be somebody else, to launch my dream business because I just can't do it. So you get these golden handcuffs, which are like a chokehold that I rely on my job. I need my job. I am my job. And then you forget who you are. And then another chokehold is that I started to feel, you don't have the time or the money, right? I don't have enough time to build a business. I don't have enough money that it's going to take to invest. And so why would I even try? So that's another big chokehold we put on ourselves is time and money. And then another chokehold is belief. Well, nobody's going to like what I'm going to have to offer. Who am I? I've never been in business before. What skills do I have? What would anybody even want? How can I add value to anybody? And you start to, well, I've never done it before, so what makes me think I'm going to do it? And I don't have enough money to spend on it. Well, so then I may as well keep my job, which, as we all know, is the term for just over broke, which again is those golden handcuffs, which keeps you down from building your dreams, right? And then the other chokehold was, well, if I am going to build a business for myself, well, that's going to mean that's going to take away from family time with my children, more leisure time, you know,
Golf course.
right. I'm not going to be able to do that. And you know what? It's an unfortunate situation because when you do build a business, if you're trying to break away, you're trying to build your authentic self and something you love. Yes, there's a fine line. It's going to be for a couple of years. You have to pay the price to get paid the price. You're going to have to give up leisure time. You're going to have to take away time, whether it's from a spouse or family members, because the only time that you have is if you have a 9 to 5 job, is you got to work at it at lunch hours, or you got to work at it after work. And so there is a balance. And I was actually feeling really selfish, and I had to break free and say, no, I can still be there for my kids a little bit. I got to take some time away, but yet I have to do this for me. And you know, it's, life isn't always just about looking after your kids or being responsive to everybody else and putting everybody else as a priority. You've got to put yourself as a priority, and it's okay. And that was a chokehold as well that I had to break. So belief in myself, feeling selfish for my kids, not having time and the money to do this, and because you always need money to pay for things, and then the golden handcuffs that I need a job because I've been told I have to
Yeah.
go work for somebody. And these were things that were strangled the shit out of me, and it was just keeping me playing small and down,
Small.
and
Yeah,
I
exactly.
had to be aware.
Okay, so okay, so you've got four, and I'm sure there's more chokeholds in your book
Yeah.
for sure. I actually haven't had a chance to read that book, so I think I
Right.
need a copy.
Absolutely. I will get you a
Send it down to
copy.
Mexico for
You
me.
bet.
Okay, so the first chokehold is exactly we've especially in at our age, you know, people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, we did live a very conformed, stereotypical lifestyle, right? Graduate. I mean, I remember thinking when I was 21, 22, oh my God, I'm not married yet. Like, oh my God, I just think about that craziness. And then I ended up getting married. But so talk a little bit more about that. What is it that like so over the years, so now I've been in this career for 20, 25, 30 years, and how do I get the courage to leave or even to start something new as a side hustle? Because I mean, I know you're still working your day job. I'm still doing my consulting work, which I've been doing for 15, 20 years now. But how do you start to carve out that time? Because quite honestly, I get home from my
Mm-hmm.
day job, and are you not
Mm-hmm.
exhausted?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
you still have some responsibilities with your kids at this age,
Yeah.
possibly, or you know,
Yeah.
how do you move?
Yeah. You know, yeah, great question. And actually, it starts off with really having conversations with your family. So if you have a spouse or you have children, you know, you have to, it's like anything in relationships, right? You have to communicate. And number one says, you know, I'm not happy, and I'm not happy with, maybe it's what you're doing or whatever. And you have to be able to say, look, I need to dedicate to me. I need some time for me. I just can't go on, right? Or there will be no cohesive unit or family unit. You're going to maybe yourself die from stress of a heart attack, or you're just not going to be happy, which is no good for your children or partners or spouse. So it takes a real good conversation, and some of those conversations people won't understand. You know, well, who are you? Why are you changing? Why are you not happy? Is it me? Is it our relationship? And so you have to be really honest. And number one, you have to communicate it to a spouse or to a partner, and just say, look, I need this, and it's going to take time, and you're just going to have the support. So that's number one. Number two, yeah, you're going to lose the leisure time. Your children, you're going to have to find ways to still dedicate some time to them, but you've got to get over it, or otherwise you'll never build. I mean, I've had a 28-year-old, a 16, and a 13, and they all will find ways to demand your time. And so you have to be able to be good time management. Say, look, I'm not available between these hours and this time. You're going to have to figure out ways, but after that, I'm yours. I'm available. I can still dedicate some quality time. And so, yeah, so time management is actually critical. You got to, I put actually a chapter in my book. You got to you got to clean up your life, and it's decluttering. And I have clean stands for CLEAN. You got to have continuous improvement in your day. So whether it's in your job or how you look after kids. You got to start knowing, I've got to improve. I've got to find ways to be better at my time management. You have to liberate other people. So whether it's people in your job, you got to give them more authority to make some decisions. You got to give them more opportunity to do things, or even your children. And you say, look, I need to liberate you to be able to decide, to make some decisions. I'm going to be here, but you can't be involved in every decision or every issue. And you got to eliminate waste, whether that's in your job, wasteful activities, wasteful meetings, wasteful sometimes parties after work or whatever. You've just got to be able to eliminate that. And you got to automate processes in your household or in your office. So what is supposed to happen does happen on time every day. And you always have to navigate a direction, because people will always, whether it's in your job or in your family household, you've got to continue to navigate, set goals, let people understand where things are. And it's so time management, and they have to be healthy. You cannot escape a 9 to 5 or work a job, build a side hustle if you're sick, if you have no energy. So time management and being healthy are some of the two most important things, as well as having some of those difficult conversations. And one thing, and as you continue to grow, it's just, you got to continue to converse with your kids and your family, because you're going to seem like you're a workaholic, and all they're going to see is, oh, you just always at your computer, you're building your passion, you don't care about me. You just got to be able to step some time away, and you have to have those conversations. But you're going to be, more time is about you if you really want to do it. And it's just the way it is. You can't be there for everybody and for yourself, full on,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. And so I want to drill down even a little bit further on that, having the difficult conversation, because I think psychologically, I know from my perspective, the women that I'm coaching, typically there's at least at one point in our conversation that they want to leave their husband or their partner,
Right.
whatever, and the first thing that I talk about is, let's first get clear on what you want to do next. And typically it's not that the marriage or that person, you've fallen out of love with that person. It's just you've been with that person for so long, but you're both just kind of working towards this, what did you say, this job, what was the acronym?
JOB, just over broke. Yeah.
Just over
Golden
broke.
handcuffs. Yeah.
And it's true, you're constantly hustling, but so you sit down, that you say, sit down, have a conversation, have the difficult conversation. What kind of scripting can you actually use to say, you know what, I actually think, this hobby that I have, or, I'm doing a little bit of this, or I'm doing a little bit of that, but I'd like to start to expand on that a little bit more, and to see if I can generate a passive income from it. The first thing that's going to go through this person's mind likely is, oh my God, she's not in love with me anymore, or he's not in love with me anymore. He wants a divorce. And so what kind of conversation can you have that prevents that kind of thinking?
It's really tough, and it's going to be a little bit different for everybody, because there's going to be jealousies in a relationship. And so, as you say, it may not be the relationship that's bad. It's their surroundings. It's what they're doing, the spontaneity, the excitement. Nobody is happy. And so that's sort of what's brought into a relationship. And if you're struggling and you're not making enough income, you're not being able to do some of the finer things in life, go travel, go experience, go out to restaurants, and you're sort of missing a lot of that romance. I've been there. I've seen it. You get stagnant. You just kind of come home, you plunk yourself after you eat, you look after kids, and you watch TV, and there's no other goals besides running your children around to soccer and hockey, and you're all over the map. So, but I think some of the what people are going to run into, and if someone wants to grow and someone doesn't, there's going to be friction, because if one of the partners is not growing and was happy the way things are, well, that one of those partners, let's say for your listeners, it's the husband. Well, they're going to be just doing what they're doing. They're going to just see the spouse or the partner learning, growing on Zoom calls, conferencing, taking more training, going to webinars, meeting new people. And that is actually going to create some jealousies. And because then the other partner just says, well, you don't have any time for me, and you're always at your computer. And if they're not growing, and so all you really want to ensure your partner understands what you're doing, the commitment that it's going to take, and it's going to take years. There's going to be a transition of 2 or 3 year period of you're not going to be sitting on the couch just watching Netflix and sitting around and, if you're really wanting, so this is a huge change. And a lot of the times the partnerships won't survive, because of it. And unless, each are, studying personal development and are both growing, all you can do is encourage, the partner to start reading the books on personal development that's not growing yet, because maybe there is something they can grow, or they can pick up another hobby, or learn a new skill, or do something they've never done, or maybe take up a leisure activity. If building a business isn't something they want to do, maybe there's some other hobbies, and it's okay to be in a relationship and be separate, and then
Yeah,
you're
totally.
coming back and sharing, hey, this is what I've done and this is what I did. And so your quality time isn't around Netflix and chilling all night. It's around
Yeah.
sharing how you're growing, and maybe you're also enjoying each other's new hobbies or activities as well. But they both
Yeah,
have
I
to
love
grow.
that.
Both
And
have to grow, or there's going to be trouble.
absolutely. And also, too, I think even your friend group. So I remember one woman that had gone through my pilot program, and nothing was wrong with from the relationship standpoint. Her husband was going to be retiring. It's sort of like a mandatory retirement at a certain age, and then she wanted to keep going. She was a lawyer and still wanted to continue to work in that space. But what she said was, it was her girlfriends that were putting pressure on her to say, hey, listen, you know what, we need to get out there, like, you're supposed to be lunching with us right now. And meanwhile, she wanted to get out there and do cycling. And so she was in my program, not to figure out what was her next in terms of career wise, but what was her next in terms of retirement, because she didn't want that traditional retirement where she was lunching with the girls, drinking wine, going to the golf course. She wanted to, do a little more extreme sports and things like that. And so that's what happens when, this, you have to break free from a friend group as well.
Absolutely, and there will be, changes. You're going to start making new connections in other support groups. It's You'll make many more friends, and some of those friends you're going to have much more, in common with, right? Or in your stage of life, and it's okay, right? It's okay to grow out of friendships and grow into new friendships, right? Because people come into your life. I'm a firm believer in God. I know everything happens for a reason and a purpose. And people come into your lives for various reasons. And as you grow, you'll be searching, for more. And unfortunately, you're going to have some male friends and female friends, and yeah, you're going to lose some old friend groups, and you're going to gain some new friend groups, and you're going to be making friends with people of the opposite sex, and which is also a challenge for a partner as well, noticing and seeing and all these, wonderful, enlightening, inspiring conversations that you're not actually maybe having, with your partner. And that's, some big challenges as well, too.
Absolutely. And so what I'm hearing from you is, find, and I want to get into your back into how you made it through getting the book published. But so it's about a mindset. Obviously, it's about trying to bring that partner along with you, but yet still having the courage to do it for you. And then, where you probably will likely start to see a different type of community forming, you reach out to other communities and start getting involved in those areas. So yeah, so I love all that advice. That's amazing. So let's go back. Tony Robbins 10 years ago, talking about the chokehold that you place on yourself. It's so funny. Actually, it's not funny. It's amazing how we can put so many limiting beliefs on ourselves and prevent ourselves from doing the things that we want. What is that psychological game that you have to break through? You did it yourself. You said, you know what, about 3 years ago, I was struggling. I knew I needed to do something different, but how did you find it in it? Because by the time you hit that tipping point of like, okay, this is it. I am so fed up with my life right now. There is a bit of self-doubt that's crept in. There's this limiting beliefs. It's this sort of potential of depression, or all these different sort of mixed sort of emotions and feelings and things that you're going through. So tell us, I want to know from, like, how did Doug break free?
Mm-hmm. You know, and I'll just even share. I was one day. It was about 3 years ago as well, and I was sitting around at a wedding, and a song came on, and it was the Hokey Pokey. Right, you put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, and you shake it all about. And I go, holy shit! I just had a thought about this is what my life is. I was living the Hokey Pokey on
Oh my
repeat, right, each
gosh.
and every day.
I love this. I
And
love this.
it just shook me to the core. I said, I gotta find, a new song for my life, a new theme
Oh
for my
my.
life, right?
Let's just take a moment here for a second. I have chills listening to that story.
Yeah,
Oh my God. So
yeah.
give the hokey pokey. Let's sing a little bit of that.
Oh my God! You put your left foot,
Put
and you
it,
put
you put
your
your
left
right
foot out,
foot out, you put your right
right
foot
foot
in,
in,
you put your right foot out,
and you
and you
shake
shake
it
it all
all
about.
about,
Yeah,
and you
it's
do it again and again and again and
and again
again
and
and
again.
again and again, and
Oh
that's
my God.
and it was like it was like, holy shit. I go, this is my life, right? I'm living the hokey pokey, right? And so I said, I need a
Wow.
new theme song. And so there's a couple of songs that just inspired me, and I play them every day, whether I'm at the gym or sometime in the morning. And it's Kickstart Your Heart by Motley Crue. And it's all about kickstart. To me, it's about kickstarting my heart, kickstarting my passion. And it's just a hard rock and fun, lively. And that has now become the theme song of sort of my life. And it was that simple, but I needed some sort of an analogy about this is how I'm going to live life, from now on. No more hokey pokey. I'm done. Kickstart your heart. It's gonna kill. And so, just as you said, so how do you really do that? Because it's one thing to sort of know, and you can get motivated for a short period of time, and then it can fall behind. Well,
Yeah.
I've learned through mentors that anything, number one, you got to know what you want. You got to have these desires. You got to find your purpose. Really go through assessment. What it is. What is the burning desire that you want? Whether it's in relationships, leisure, business. What kind of lifestyle is it? And you got to be able to visualize it. You got to see it. You got to internalize it each and every day and be motivated. And it's got to drive you. Okay, it's great. I now know what I want. Okay, then what you really need to then do is you got to understand your reasons why. So you got to, this is what I want. So why is it? Do you want to have things more for your family, your spouse, for your children? You want to see the eight wonders of the world? You want to go golfing every afternoon? What is it? What's juicing you? What are those reasons why? And everybody has different reasons why. There may be some similarities around family, travel, relationship, but you got to dig down deep into your core to find those reasons why. And you got to think about them every day. So I actually have a 6x6 vision board actually in my office, and I look at it every day and I internalize it and I see it and I just get jacked up. And even though I got to go do work that is not my passion, I never lose sight of my goal. And then it just takes courage. Courage is the most important thing for building confidence in yourself. So I've heard this many times. Again, it's from Tony Robbins. You've got to unleash your inner gladiator each and every day. So you got to fight for this best life. So even though you don't know how you're going to get it, you got to keep taking steps each and every day, and you got to fight, and you got to be this gladiator, and a gladiator that goes into war, into fight, and he doesn't know if he or she is going to live or die, but they're prepared to go and follow what they need to do. They're gladiators. That's who they are. They fight. They fight to win, and that's so you got to become this gladiator when you know what it is. Now, the great thing is the more courage you have, and the more you're prepared to step out. Oh, and that wasn't so bad. Oh, I did that. Oh, hey, I accomplished that. Or hey, I wrote a blog. Or hey, I built a website. Or hey, I just accomplished even the smaller things. You start to build confidence in yourself, and you kind of go, hey, well, this is not so bad. I can do this. As an old guy, I can learn some of these digital skills, and hey, I'm really actually helping somebody, and somebody's responding, and they like this. Hey, I'm maybe what I have to offer the world is unique, and and you start building confidence, and it keeps building and building and building, and then you learn more capabilities, and you gain more confidence. But you have to have this courage. You got to jump out of those comfort zones. You got to be a gladiator. And then one other piece, Dr. Jordan Peterson, I know he's quite a controversial individual, but he says you got to unleash this inner monster within you. this crazy monster that won't take no, and it's what's in you as becoming this gladiator. But you don't want, and you got to be so fearful that you'll just go fight and do whatever. But you got to balance it. You just got to control the monster so what you're doing doesn't affect anybody around you in a negative way. You can't put up with anything. No more bullshit. No more fear of making that phone call, talking to somebody, going to approach somebody, whatever it is. You got to let this monster and be this gladiator, but you got to balance it so you never become this crazy individual. But you have to be crazy. You got to get out there. You got to be this different person. And it's been shunned because of those chokeholds, right? So, and
That's
it's,
right.
yeah.
I love everything that you're saying there. I love that sort of find that inner gladiator. So just to summarize what you said there. So change the song. So what is the song that of your life that you're living today? In your case, it was the Hokey Pokey, and you've changed it to a much more
Kickstart Your
rock
Heart. Yeah.
kickstart your heart a song, and I love that. I have my own. I know it may be a bit cliche, but it is Eminem. You've only got one chance, and so take it. And actually, it's funny that you're saying that because again, these interviews are very unscripted, and literally, I put that on this morning to did my dance around and kind of get the energy going, and then you're right, the courage, and the courage doesn't come from that end state. The courage comes from taking that one step at a time. And even myself, honest to God, I had no idea how I was going to launch Encore Life Academy. I had no idea how that I was even going to start a podcast, to be completely honest. But I was very clear on what I wanted for myself and for my life. And as you say, you have this vision board. My vision, you can't really see it because I've got lots of notifications on my phone, but the visual is on my phone all the time, and it is there. And I've mentioned it several times. It's all being driven by an acronym that I use called Moosepickle. Each one of those words or letters has a word and a meaning underneath it, and that's what I try to get people to get super clear on is the difference. What is their why? And I want to just talk a little bit before I let you go. I want to talk a little bit about the difference between purpose and why, because I think a lot of people are confused on that. And so you talk about the why just now, and that's why are you doing all of this? It's not your purpose of helping others, or it's really so that I can afford those vacations, that I can give my kids the life that they want, that I can go and do those things that I want to buy that car, or whatever the case may be. That is a why. It's why you're doing it, so that you can get something in return. But your purpose is truly what really sort of fuels your every single day, and makes you feel like I'm living this life that I'm giving my best to the world.
Exactly. Yeah, you betcha. It's about adding value. So if there's another level of you, what is that? And that's where you can sort of find your purpose. What is that passion, right? What is that that's driving you? And the only way you find it is by self-assessment. So, okay, what do you find yourself reading day in and day out, and until you can't go to sleep? What is it that you're looking at magazines? What skills, what other talents are you not using, right? And are these things you want to let out and use more of them? And so going through the assessments, as in the Encore Life, the program that you have, will help people find their purpose, right? And so then what keeps people motivated is the internal why. So once you know what your passion, your skills, your talents, or your experience is, something you need to share, and you just love it, and you're not doing it, but you need to do this to leave a legacy, to add value. That's purpose, right? So, and your passion.
Yeah.
And then the why, you're right. For me, it all starts with deep down, what is it, right? So is it fun and party and experience? Yeah, I want to do that. I've been always looking after children. There's so many things that I haven't done because I've always been looking after family and looking after priorities. And I want to be this different character, and I want to travel. I want to meet new people, and I want to have fun, and I want to experience. And I want a Corvette, and I want a motorcycle, and I want a big motorhome, and I want to travel when I want, and I want to do all these great things, and I want to see the 8 wonders of the world. And yes, and I also And my children are always still part of that. And I want to have more time with my children. I want to give them skills and tools and opportunities and be that legacy for them. Because here's another thing. And I always felt like I was hypocritical. So I was always, the day I realized the Hokey Pokey was my life, I always used to tell my children, guys, you can do anything you want. You can, go do what you want to do. You can be. And I realized, well, was I ever hypocritical? And I was sitting there and
Because you weren't
I
doing it
wasn't
yourself.
doing it myself, but I was telling, and everybody does that as well. There's 90% of the people are not unleashing themselves because they have chokeholds. They don't know what their purpose is. They don't know their passions, but what sustains your motivation is the why. And that's why when you know on your vision board, you know what you want, you got to keep thinking, internalize it and feel it. That's what's going to give you the motivation to go forward, right? You always,
I love
if you forget the why, that's why people, they forget it and they just have all these goals, but they forget why they're after them. And it's a conditioning. It's a conditioning of your brain. And that's why personal development is so critical to your success in transformation, business and or just personal.
Amazing. Doug, thank you. You've been a wonder to have on the show. Show us your book again.
Okay, you betcha.
You got it sitting there. Yeah. So Breaking the Chokehold. Where can people get this?
You can get it on BookBaby or Amazon, Canada.com or USA. And it's available in select bookstores, whoever was carrying it, but you can get it online and very,
and I'll
very
put the
simple.
link in the show notes. Yeah, I'll put the link to the book in the show notes and all of your Instagram profiles.
Excellent.
So Doug, thank you so much for sharing all of your great insights and knowledge. It's been a pleasure, and I definitely want to bring you back on the show because I think I could talk for hours.
I think so too.
And we've had a few of those conversations. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
It's been a pleasure.
God bless you too. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks, Doug. Bye.